guess one of the biggest challenges, I think, is joining things up. So we have many disease-specific patient organisations, but how do we get that knowledge transfer across the sectors? And I think that's where organisations like my own, which is the Health and Social Care Alliance, can sort of bring people together and join things up a little bit so that we share that knowledge and experience across the disease-specific sectors and kind of bring it into one forum where we can exchange information and be talking to each other, because I think that's going to empower patients. And here I think we have an opportunity through you, Patty, to develop those national platforms to bring people together in that way.
In Germany, it's very difficult because I think the parties are very much working in their silos. So we have all the different stakeholders looking at their interests and how it has always been done. So it's very difficult for patient organizations to work both with industry, with academic researchers, with payers, and so on at the same time. It's a very polarized environment, and we are not really used to focus our attention on patients' needs, and we're wasting too much energy on conflicts of interest and things like that instead of really thinking about what patients need and how we solve a problem.
I think the biggest challenge is really to get the right communication level and the right communication to have both partners, or all three partners, or even four partners, if you are also thinking about regulatory affairs situations, that they can communicate to each other on the same level and have the same language using for the development of medicinal products.
I think the next phase we would like to go to is to actually engage patients, not just in influencing agendas and providing patients for trials and that type of thing, but actually helping to evaluate it, both in terms of proposals for funding for research, just like peer reviewers do. I think that's the holy grail we'd like to get to, and equipping patients with the expertise and skill set to do that in a neutral manner, much like peer reviewers, exactly what we're after.
I think the biggest challenge for patients, particularly patients who are concerned with the development of therapies for unmet need, is as research develops and new issues emerge, they need to be across all of these issues. And I think an organisation that is coming together, many organisations with a common purpose, coming together to form a platform like UPATI is really, really timely and very, very important. As issues emerge, they're complex for the best of us, for people in science, for people in industry, and for patients, and to come together to learn about that together at the same time is very, very important. And I think the provision of national platforms and a resource for people to go to, the experience that the students, now in their first year of the course, can bring back to other patients is absolutely crucial. And the encouragement that they can give them is very, very important, because, patients are informed. They know their stuff. They have experience of working on various other platforms to share their views, but this validates what they are doing, and that's incredibly important, so that they are seen as equal partners in opining on the very important issues of the day, which for us is the development of research into therapies for unmet need.
Well, the biggest challenge to my mind is still the change in mindset, meaning that there is a need in a paradigm shift among all stakeholders involved in the research and development of medicinal products, and particularly those that are working in the healthcare sector. Patients are not scientists. We don't need them as scientists. We need their experience with the disease and with the particular drug they are taking. That's what we want to have from them.
Well, the biggest is indeed fragmentation of patients' groups, but I would say also sustainability.
Well, I see two challenges. The obvious challenge is to make the important bodies aware that patient involvement is important and should be done. And the other thing is to create this common patient body. The situation in Austria is that you have various self-help groups that concentrate on their own problems, their own diseases, but there's no umbrella organization, no common link that links them. And this will be the first step in order to achieve anything, to have a patient representation of all different groups.
Okay, I think that's a very difficult question. because obviously I can't speak for all the different conditions. I think that in England, it's not a level playing field. So the hospitals you access, the consultants and the doctors you access, it's the luck of the draw. I think depending on how rare your condition is, you might come across medical practitioners who've not even heard of the condition. And so therefore you end up telling them about the condition. I think it would seem to me that at the moment, as we approach a general election in England, that NHS, the National Health Service in England, seems to be a political football. And I don't think we should have to fight so hard to have access to the right treatments and drugs.